We are now behind in the parking lot of Shook's Funeral Home. The owner, Roy Garrettson, I believe, right? Has been kind enough to allow all the antique cars in his lot, which is perfect because it gives everybody a chance to kind of walk around and easy access for the cars leaving, because it's very hard for them to get around, especially when the streets are all blocked up.
Everything starts moving,
yeah. So anyway, we want to thank you again for allowing that to happen. I know it was a last-minute deal.
It was. We put this together in the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
We just found out 2 weeks ago that the car show wasn't going to happen. The logistics of getting cars in and out of the municipal lot was a problem, and so they weren't going to do it. So 2 weeks ago when I found out about it, I said, well, how about if we do it in our parking lot? And because the way our one driveway is lined up almost with Dan Street, we're able to get our cars in and out safer with the people. We don't get anyone hurt. We don't want to damage the cars. We don't want to get hurt getting in and out and things like that. So it worked out better. We have a good turnout of cars.
I see
we're
that.
30 cars right now, and there's a few more that are still coming.
Wow, you have some of them come from far away, right?
I do. I have a friend of mine's bringing a 63 Cadillac hearse. He's from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So, and these cars have come from all over the area.
No speeding with these vehicles. That's why it takes much longer, right?
Exactly. My car, the 42 Cadillac, my son and I drove it up to Boston the beginning of August. Took us 9 hours to go up to Boston.
Oh my! You're going half the speed.
That's it. The travel time, 50 miles an hour, letting the car stop and rest or whatever, and they're really not comfortable cars to drive. There's no adjustment in the seat or anything like that. So
I didn't realize that.
You get a little tired driving it, so you have to get out. And the legs start to cramp up and things like that. So, but they're fun. They're good cars. They're fun cars to drive.
It's a good way to meet other people too.
Absolutely. A lot of these people I know from different organizations, like the people that have the ambulance here and this other combination car that's behind us. I know them through the Professional Car Society, which is ambulances, hearses, flower cars, limousines, and things like that. Then a couple of the Cadillacs that are here I know from people from the Cadillac Club, which is just exclusively Cadillacs and things like that. Some of the other cars came in from different cruising nights, like over at Whiskey Cafe. I went over and saw a couple people there, cars that I know. Went up to Boonton and grabbed a couple people that we know up there and had them bring their cars down. So we tried to pull this all together. I was up in Ridgewood the other day. They have a big car show, and we got some of the cars to come in from there as well.
Well, it seems like you did a great job. There's a lot of cars here.
It is. And they're good cars, a good quality of cars, so we're excited. There's some more that are coming, so we're having a good time. The weather's gorgeous as usual. It always, if you ever want to plan anything, plan it for the day of the street fair. 11 years, we've never had bad weather. One cloudy year, that was it. And we've never had rain.
That's right. It has been really wonderful. Now, while we're here, why don't you tell us a little bit about, say, this is the ambulance.
The ambulance here, this is a 1976 Cadillac ambulance. It was made by the Superior Body Company, which is also a company that makes hearses. But in this particular case here, this is just an ambulance. I don't know exactly what ambulance squad used it. He has Fords on the license plate, which I believe it might have been from the Fords New Jersey. It might have been from their rescue squad at one point in time. This other car over here, in order to make kill us going into the sun, this is what is considered a combination car. It is a ambulance to start with, and then it can convert over to a hearse. Years ago, not in this area here so much, but years ago, the funeral homes also were the ambulance squads because their men were on call 24 hours a day. So they would first go out on an ambulance call if necessary, but then the cars could be converted rather than having two separate cars. This car can add panels to the side of it to black out the windows and things like that, and it also has a casket bed in it for the rollers for the casket to come into it as well. So a different kind of car.
Right.
And as I said, we also have a 63 Cadillac hearse that's coming. That's just exclusively was used as a hearse, though.
Now, how long ago would you say they stopped doing that, making the combination vehicles?
You know what? I'm really not sure on that. There is one of the gentlemen here would know better. I don't think they use them. They don't make any of the combination cars anymore. I'm going to say probably back in the 70s would be my closest guess, but I could be wrong.
Probably smaller towns may have still had them, but
they may still have older cars that they keep in keep in service yet. That's the problem. Is some of the small towns, they'll still run a car that's from the 60s or 70s and things like that. A very outdated car by our standards, but in smaller towns, these cars are so expensive. They
absolutely right. Some of the really small towns, like even like the Midwest or something like that.
Yes, they don't get a lot of use. They don't get a lot of mileage. So as long as they maintain them, they're in good shape. But Cadillac is the big company that's been used now for these type of cars. Years ago, it used to be Packard, then Lincoln was involved in it and things like that. So it was always the big heavy-duty cars that they would make these different conversions out of.
Wow, it's beautiful. It's unbelievable how it is. Yeah, to our friend Sandy.
Secretary Sandy, she was here before. She said she is coming back. So I don't know where she ran to in the meantime, but she's here. She's here somewhere. I saw her before.
She's a doll. We love her. She's such a wonderful person.
She's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. This time of year, September 11th is always a difficult time for her, and you know, it's tough. It's tough on all the families and things like that. But you know, she's a doll. We love her.
Just a reminder, Sandy is their secretary, and she's unfortunately a mother that lost 2 of her sons during 9/11, and still to this day, I always say this, when I bring up her name, I talk about it, it still gives me chills. You know, she's a wonderful person, and she just has a heart of gold, and she's been giving back to the community, talking about 9/11, about things up in Wayne at the Votech.
Right, she was there the other day. Yes, she was there on the 11th. She went there. She was on the 10th at Clifton reading some names and things like that. I know last year she read names at Ground Zero.
Right. Yeah, I remember her saying she was going to do that. Yeah.
Last year. Yeah. But she's a sweetheart. We love her.
Yeah. So we hope we can catch her.
She'll be here. She'll be here at some point in time. But you know, as I said, come on down and take a look at these cars. They're really great. Hopefully you get some good shots of them.
Yes.
We tried to pick and choose some of the cars that are here, so we have a good quality of cars. They're really
selection. Different years.
Selection. Yeah. There's a lot here. A lot of cars here. There's some from the 30s. We got 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Might have even 80s. We do have something in the 80s. I don't think we have anything in the 90s, but you know, from the 30s and 40s and all the way up to the 80s at least. Yes. So good cars, good cars.
It's a great hobby, right? I mean, I actually think it's more than a hobby, but you know, I guess it's still classified as a hobby.
It is.
But it's just wonderful. It's, you know, it's safe. It's, you know, it's just, and you meet such nice people.
You really do. You really do. I've met so many people from the different organizations that I belong to, and they're such good people. It's funny because people walk up to them. You don't necessarily know their face, but you look at him and say, "I know he owns," and you know the kind of car, you know the car that they own, but you can't think of their name or who they are, but you know what car they own.
That's pretty humorous, isn't it?
It's funny. But we have, and as I said, there's a good mix from a different, all different groups here. There's the Professional Car Society, the Cadillac Club, the Antique Automobile Club, the Classic Car Club, all the different cruising nights in the area. Right. So, and this is our first year doing it, that we moved it on this side of the street. Next year, I would imagine we're probably going to have a full parking lot because we'll have a little bit more time to deal with it.
I can
yeah. At this point, we have, I think we're over 30 cars. Next year, we're probably doing 50 cars.
Oh, I would think so. Yeah. We'll have more time to plan then.
Exactly. 2 weeks. We pulled it together. We handle things. We're used to putting things together within a short period of time.
Yes,
so we can handle a car show in 2 weeks, not a problem.
Well, we appreciate taking your time up for doing everything. Thank you, Roy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Clifton galore.
Oh, thank you.
You are the greatest people. You're great. You're the greatest photographer. I work for Shook, and they're fantastic. And how he put this car show together in 2 weeks, I'll never understand it.
That's Roy, the owner of Shook's Funeral Home.
Yes, he's the owner of Shook Funeral Home, Roy Garrettson. He put this all together in two weeks. They used to have it across the street, but this year he wanted it in the funeral home parking lot. So it was very good.
Yeah.
And it's a great day for a street fair. We always luck out, we really do. I was here like 8 o'clock this morning and watching everybody put together everything so early. And people here are great. The food looks delicious. I haven't eaten it yet.
But you will.
Oh, yeah. I want a waffle and ice cream. I shouldn't, but I will. Yes, but that's that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Straight fair, the people in Clifton, they all come together. Right. It's really very good.
Yes. Sandy, I know this is great because, I mean, this is what it is about Clifton. It's being together.
Yeah, it's being together. Everybody works together to make it a success. You see all the people here from Clifton, the councilman, and all the people that work in Clifton, and it's wonderful. It really is.
It gives people, even if they don't have a lot of money, a chance to get out and meet people and just do something, right?
Right. They can buy something here if they want to. If they don't want to, they don't have to. But there's food here, there's little trinkets here, there's candy for the kids, and it's just for the people to see. The pony rides, the Ferris wheel, it's great, it really is.
And then they have the jousting and all that, right?
Yeah, it's really good, it's very good. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay. You see it on TV. How are you?
Okay. Good, Mike. I love your car. I've seen Mike's car when he first got it. And wow, you did a lot of great work to it. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It's a 1962 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
and it's mostly original, refurbished the engine compartment and the mechanicals, and looking to have it repainted over the winter. It's from California, owned by a lady out there for 20 years, and it was owned in Rochester for another 30. And I got it about a year and a half ago. And
Wow. Now, how were you able to find out all the information?
well, I bought the car, and didn't come with much information. It had a few pieces of documentation, and I traced one of the insurance cards, went on Google, looked up the person's name, found their phone number, and called them. And the lady called me back and gave me the whole history of the car.
Oh, see, that's such a big asset when you're a car collector, right? I mean, knowing the whole background, the history of it. Oh, it's wonderful. So what did she say?
Well, she told me about who originally bought it new and the whole story of how the car was purchased. It was purchased by a couple in California in 1962. They owned it for 20 years. It was owned and driven by a lady. She picked the car out, and when the car was about 10 years old, her husband bought her a newer car, and her husband drove it to work. He was a chemist for the government, and he passed away, and she was so heartbroken. The car sat for about 5-6 years, and she gave it to her friend who lived in Rochester. So her friend in Rochester flew out to California and drove the car back in the early 1980s.
Wow.
She owned it for about 30 years and decided to pass it on to somebody else because it needed some attention.
And so you were the lucky person to
Yes.
get. Wonderful. So, Mike, let's just take a peek on the inside too. Oh, look at the upholstery. For such an old vehicle, the upholstery is beautiful. Just a little cracks in the back, but the front, I mean, it's like beautiful. Did you have to do much with the inside?
Well, I haven't done much with the inside yet. The
This
front
is
seat
nice.
was done over about 15 years ago, and the rear seat is original, and the rest of the interior is original.
Wow. It's beautiful. Well,
So equipped with a lot of rare accessories for a Cadillac. It's
such as?
air conditioning, cruise control, rear window defogger,
Were these done by you?
Well, the car had air conditioning, but I added the cruise control and the rear defogger and the seat belts to the car.
Oh, wonderful. That's nice. Well, Mike, we wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and keep in touch with us.
All right, enjoy the street fair.
Thank you. Bye.
So we do thank everyone for coming. We hope to see everyone next year. Tell your friends. We'll get the cars packed in here. We can get a good 45 cars in here in parking spaces. But if we really pack them in, we could probably do 60 or 80 cars in here. So we should have a nice show. So thank everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. You all deserve a good hand. See you next year.